Football fans, prepare yourselves. The transfer window just exploded with a thunderclap that echoed across the globe. Victor Osimhen, the man who breathed fire into Serie A and single-handedly carried Napoli to glory, is now wearing the iconic blue of Chelsea. The deal, a staggering £110 million, sent shockwaves. But what if I told you there's a deeper layer to this monumental transfer? What if the official announcement, the celebratory photos, and the astronomical fee were just the tip of an iceberg, concealing a truth that Napoli desperately tried to keep under wraps? What if the Osimhen deal has a secret clause, a hidden agreement that radically alters everything we thought we knew about this historic move? For months, the football world was captivated by the Osimhen saga. Every major club, from the money-laden giants of the Premier League to the perennial powerhouses of Europe, was vying for his signature. PSG, with their insatiable appetite for superstar talent, were reportedly throwing absurd figures on the table. Saudi clubs, notorious for their boundless financial might, were attempting to lure him with contracts that would make even a king blush. Yet, through it all, Chelsea emerged victorious, seemingly activating his colossal release clause without a hitch. But the more you dig, the more you realize that in the high-stakes world of elite football transfers, nothing is ever truly simple. There are always whispers, always subtle nods to complexities hidden beneath the surface. And with Osimhen, those whispers have grown into a deafening roar. This isn't just another big money move. This is Osimhen. A player whose journey from the dusty streets of Lagos, where he once sold sachets of water just to survive, to the dazzling lights of European football, is the stuff of legend. He overcame unimaginable adversity, losing his mother at a young age, battling poverty, and fighting for every single opportunity. His raw power, his explosive pace, his aerial dominance, and that unyielding desire to score goals made him a nightmare for defenders across Italy. He didn't just win the Scudetto for Napoli, he dragged them to it, breaking a 30-year curse and etching his name into the club's immortal history. So, for a player of such immense value, such profound impact, how could a transfer of this magnitude be as straightforward as a simple activation of a release clause? The answer, my friends, lies in the shadows, in the rarely seen intricacies of modern football contracts. Imagine, for a moment, the negotiations. Napoli, a club fiercely protective of their star assets, would have fought tooth and nail to extract every possible concession. Chelsea, desperate for a striker to lead their ambitious rebuild, would have been willing to go to extraordinary lengths. It's in these intense, often fraught, discussions that secret clauses are born. These aren't always nefarious agreements, sometimes they are strategic masterpieces, designed to protect the interests of all parties involved, yet kept from the public eye for various reasons: competitive advantage, financial sensitivity, or even player psychology. So, what kind of secret clause are we talking about? The possibilities are fascinating and deeply impactful. Could it be a hidden performance-based bonus structure so intricate, so heavily tied to Chelsea's success, that it effectively makes Napoli a silent partner in the Blues' future triumphs? Imagine a clause that dictates a substantial additional payment to Napoli not just if Chelsea qualifies for the Champions League, but if they reach the semi-finals, or even win the Premier League title within a specific timeframe. This wouldn't just be about Osimhen's individual goals, it would be about Chelsea's collective glory directly translating into more millions for his former club. Such a clause would put an unprecedented level of pressure on Osimhen, not just to score, but to contribute to the overall success that unlocks these additional funds. Or perhaps, and this is a truly mind-bending possibility, could there be a concealed future sell-on clause that is far more significant than the standard percentages we hear about? What if Napoli negotiated a percentage of Osimhen's next transfer fee that is unusually high, giving them a vested interest in his continued success at Chelsea? This would mean that even if Osimhen reaches even greater heights at Stamford Bridge and is eventually sold for an even more astronomical sum, Napoli would once again benefit disproportionately. It's a clause that ensures their legacy, a perpetual income stream tied to their most valuable asset. It's a brilliant, almost predatory, piece of negotiation that only a shrewd club president could pull off. Then there are the more subtle, yet equally powerful, hidden agreements. Consider the complexities of image rights. In today's globalized football landscape, a player like Osimhen is a brand unto himself. His image, his likeness, his social media presence, all represent significant revenue streams. What if a portion of his image rights, traditionally retained by the player or split with the new club, was somehow funneled back to Napoli for a set period, perhaps as a deferred payment or a way to balance the books? This would be a secret due to its sheer unconventionality, a testament to how far clubs are willing to go to maximize their assets. And what about the highly sensitive topic of a future release clause embedded within his Chelsea contract itself? We've seen this before in other top players' deals, where a player might agree to a transfer, but with the understanding that if a specific, even higher, release clause is met after a certain number of years, they would be free to move again. This would be a bombshell, suggesting that Osimhen's long-term future at Chelsea isn't as set in stone as it appears. It would mean that even now, another super club could be eyeing his trajectory, waiting for that hidden trigger to activate, sending the transfer market into another frenzy. Napoli might have insisted on this as a safety net, or as a way to ensure Osimhen himself was truly content with the move, knowing an escape route exists. The implications of such a secret clause are colossal, not just for Chelsea, but for the entire footballing world. For Chelsea, it adds another layer of financial complexity and strategic planning. They've invested heavily, but are they fully aware of all the future obligations this hidden clause might entail? Does it affect their financial fair play calculations in ways that aren't immediately apparent? It also intensifies the pressure on Osimhen. He's not just playing for Chelsea, he might indirectly be playing to unlock further payments for Napoli, or to trigger a clause that dictates his future. Every goal, every assist, every performance takes on a new, heightened significance. For Napoli, this hidden clause would be a masterstroke. It's a testament to their negotiating prowess, ensuring that their investment in Osimhen continues to yield dividends long after he's left their shores. It secures their financial future, allowing them to reinvest and continue competing at the highest level, proving that even selling a superstar doesn't mean the end of their ambitions. This isn't just about the transfer fee, it's about the intricate dance of power and money behind the scenes. It's about the subtle levers that club presidents pull, the confidential agreements that define the careers of the world's most coveted athletes. The Osimhen transfer might seem complete, but the truth, the real truth, could be far more complex, far more intriguing. The football world waits, breathlessly, for any hint, any leak, any confirmation of this hidden agreement. Because when it comes to Victor Osimhen, it seems the biggest revelations are often kept under lock and key. The question remains, what is the secret they didn't want you to know? And when will it finally come to light? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the story of Victor Osimhen and Chelsea is just beginning, and its most captivating chapter might still be unwritten.